Hello guys, in this video we are going to do another Kerberoasting ASREP, and for this one I'm going to show you how to do it if you have generic all or generic write access to a user. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and import. We are going to import Power View first. I'll keep doing PowerCat. There we go, Power View. After that, we are going to clear this out, and the first command that you want to do is get domain user pre-authentication required. See if we find anything. Like on the last video, we were able to find one, but for this one, as you can see, we couldn't find anything. So what you want to do is first let's see who you are. Who am I? Okay, and then you want to do a get domain user name student1. And the reason why I'm looking my own user is because I'm going to be using the SID, this SID over here, 1603, and with 1603, with this SID, I'm going to be using it so I can search for the ACOs, right? So the first one, like I said, I think I said it before already, but if you have generic all access on a user or generic write access on a user, you are going to be able to set the pre-authentication not required on a user. So if you have generic all, generic write, you can do that, and I'm going to show you how to do that. But first I need to see if we have a user, and the first one that I need to do is the get object ACL. We're going to be looking for all the same account names. We are going to look for the active directory rights that matches generic all. So the first one that we're going to be searching is generic all, and also right needs to match my SID over here. Press enter and see if we find anything, and if we don't find anything for generic all, we are going to be searching for generic write, because generic all is basically that you have full access to the user. Generic write means that you have access to write to that user, and one of the rights that you have access to write to is the user account control, and we can set the user account control to a number, and that number is basically going to give it don't require pre-authentication from Kerberos. And if you don't require pre-authentication, we are going to be able to do an ASREP roast attack, which we did before. So let's see. You can see right now we didn't find anything. So now let's go ahead and search and see if we can find something for generic write. And that's going to be looking for in every single one of those same account names, and that's why it takes a little bit. And again, this SID over here is my SID, my current SID. Let's see if we find anything. Still searching. No, it did not find anything for generic write either. So same account name. Did I do generic write? I thought I had one, but let's see. Generic write. It's a generic write. Let's see, Heath Adams. Here's the user where I should have access to generic write, but it doesn't look like I do. So I guess I forgot to do that. So let's go ahead and do that, so you can see what is the security. Yeah, I don't see my student one in here. I guess I forgot to add it. So let's go ahead and do that. Student one. So we're going to give it write access, which means that it's going to have generic write access. So that's how you do that. I guess I forgot to do that before this video, but there we go. So now let's go ahead and go back. Like, you don't have access to it, right? And we are going to look for heat atoms, and still nothing. Generic right not showing. What we could do then is that, let's see if we just look for anything that I have access to for this user. And I do have access to generic right. There we go. So there it is. Why is it not matching? Kind of weird. But I was able to find it. Instead of just looking for that generic right, what I did was I just deleted that generic right. And what I just did was I said, look for, heat atoms, and I want you to match my SID. So if my SID is in the security identifier in here, I want it to show it to me, and so I can see it. There we go, generic right, and access allow. Okay, that's how it's supposed to function. And if you don't want to just look for that specified user, you can also just put the asterisk right here, and you can search for all the accounts. Okay, but since I know what I was looking for, there it is. So we do have access allow for generic right, and the security identifier, my account. Awesome. So we do have generic right access to this user. So now we're going to be able to exploit this user. There's multiple ways that I've shown you guys already, but this one is for the Kerberoasting AS RDP. So we are going to set the domain object for the heat atoms user, and the object that we want to edit or modify is the user control, and we want to set it to 4194304. And what does that mean? I'm going to show you what does that mean. So it means don't require pre-authentication, 4194304. And there's a lot of user account flags to manipulate the user account properties in here, and here that guy is. And if you want to set it back to normal, which we are going to do it after we get the hash, we are going to set it to 512. Okay, awesome. So that's why we're setting that to 4194304. There we go. Awesome. So now if we do a get domain user pre-authentication require, see if we find one, now you can see that we are able to find heat atoms in here. Awesome. So what can we do from here? Well, we can do the same attack that we did before, and that's going to be with Rubio's AS rep roast, the format hashcat. The out file is going to be called heat atoms AS rep roast. And then after we do that, there we go, successfully. Awesome. And it was saved in here. So what we're going to be doing is we are going to move this. Well, before we do that, what I'm going to be doing is I want to set this account back to normal, and I believe it's 512. We can verify that if we go to the Windows article, which talks about the user account flags to manipulate user account properties, and we want to set it back to normal, and normal is 512. There we go, normal account. So let's go ahead and set that back up to normal. Awesome, because we got the hash, so we don't need to we don't want any flags out there. We want to clear our path, right? We don't want to leave any crumbs out there. So let's go ahead and clear these out. Let's go ahead and see our heat atom ASP roast. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be running the AFS. AFS is a HTTP file server, and we are going to be moving that hash over here, copy it in here, and we are going to move it to my local machine, my Linux machine, and we want to go ahead and download it. And I'm going, so you guys can see it. Let's go ahead and move it over here. You can see it that it was downloaded. Awesome. So now what we're going to be doing is we are going to be cracking this hash with hashcat. And the way that you do that is by running the hashcat command M18 2000. We're going to force and then A equals to 0, and heat atoms AS rep roast, and the word list that we want to use is raku.text, and that's going to crack that hash. And there we go, it has been cracked already. And look, the password again, password 123. Okay, password 123 again. Okay, let's go ahead and copy this guy. And if we want to see who is actually Heath Adams, I did not see. Let's go ahead and get domain user. Same account name, we can say H Adams. See what he's part of. Heath Adams is a domain admin. He's a domain admin. So what can we do from here? Well, we can enter a PS session to the domain controller, and we can put the credentials of pen testing, and we can put Heath Adams over here, and we can use that password, and that should create that should enter a session to the domain controller, a PowerShell session with the Heath Adams, since we were able to crack the password. And there we go. DC, you can see it over here. It's a PowerShell. See where we are, and from here you can do some local enumeration. Let's see if we actually are in the domain controller. DC, yes we are. Who am I? Adams and groups. See where we are part of the building administrator and domain admin. So what can you do from here? Well, you can do a lot of things from here. One of the things that you could do is that you can disable the antivirus, and you can run Mimikatz. You can get all the hashes from all the users. You can also do a dump from the, I think it is called, I don't remember, you can dump the database where all the passwords are stored, and that is called the NTDS, the NTDS.dit. You can dump all of that, and by dumping that, you are going to get all the hashes from all the users. And what can you do with those NT hashes or NTLM hashes is that you can basically impersonate those users like we did with pass a hash, and we can also do pass the tickets if we wanted to, but that's how that worked. So thank you guys for watching.